Hey, what's up, ecosystem? I've got a friend. His name is Paul. He's the Director of Strategic Accounts at Black Book Automotive Data. Paul's team, including Alex and Laura, practice the science and art of researching vehicle trends and sharing them in easy-to-absorb graphs and models. I've also been making new friends in auto repossession. That's why Jordan and Bryanna are here tonight to help talk about where auto recovery and auto transport can do a better job communicating and working together. And if that's not enough, my new friend Carissa at Constant.ai has developed a new technology to help delinquent consumers before they cross over into the auto repossession threshold. Tonight's live show is unique, and I hope it's a step in the right direction. So please join the live chat, ask your questions, grow your business. It's Tuesday nights live on Auto Transport Intel. I'm Jay, your host. Welcome back to the show. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me again on a Tuesday night on Auto Transport Intel. It's Tuesday nights live, and we're back together. This is the Auto Transport Intel family. This is the core. This is where we share ideas, we get information. We're going to go into industry news. I'm getting ahead of myself. I do that every time. Let me tell you what's happening. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time here, please feel welcome. You can ask anything. This is the auto transport ecosystem friendly place. There are no stupid questions, so ask away. Put it in the live chat. Ask a question, say hello, promote your company, promote your business, make a new friend, network and grow. That's what we do here. Then we're going to go into industry news at the quarter hour. It's national news, social media news, front of the store, back of the store, what's being talked about. We've also got mobile app TMS information, used car prices and trends, and then, hey, where do you get your inventory? Where are you getting your inventory right now? Is it the same as before? We're going to talk about what's happening in used car inventory trends and the auto repossession market. We're going to kick it off with an interview with Paul Machin of Black Book Automotive Data. I'm so happy to have Paul and his team on the show. We're going to start with Paul, and then we're going to add his team. We're going to add Alex and Laura, and there's more. But tonight it'll be Paul, Alex, and Laura, and we're going to get an update on what's going on. Again, used cars and auto repossessions. If you have any questions about that, put it in the live chat. And then, if that's not enough, we're going to add two recovery professionals, Jordan and Bryanna. They'll tell you more about who they are, what their companies do, and what technology they're really excited about. And then we're going to add Carissa. She is with Constant.ai, and they've got a technology to help consumers before they get into auto repossession. I see this as important. I know we're kind of a far afield of just standard auto transport, but if you watch this show, you know that I do that week after week. And I think there's a lot to learn, and as we see everything changing so much, technology is kind of the key to understanding the pathway. So we're gonna focus on that as well. I'm excited. I see a lot happening in the live chat, so I'm excited to go into the live chat and say hello. Oh, do me a favor, will you please? The show just got started. We're going to be here for 2 hours, so settle in. Please give a like. That means a lot. And also, you see that share button below the video on YouTube? You click share, you click copy, and you can grab the YouTube link. You can text it, email it, share it on social media. Say, man, here's the deal. This is the Repo show we haven't seen yet. It's live on Auto Transport Intel. Please do that. And also, if you are looking to grow your business, you know you can go to autotransportintel.com, click on sign up, join the ATI Insider Program, get in touch with Ty, and there's another video about that later in the show. I got all kinds of stuff going on, and we're already I hope we're not behind on time, so I tell you what, stick around, and we're gonna be right back and go into the live chat, and I want to talk to you.
Are you completely stressed out from all the calls and the contracts and the verification of loads when nobody answers the phone? Call Murphy Auto Dispatch Services today. Murphy Auto Dispatch Services has over 15 years of experience in the transport industry. We are your office while you are on the road. We book, we verify, and we bill out your loads for you. We have an excellent accounting staff and an even better dispatch team. Give us a call today at 417-273-0021. Or if you want to email me, it's murphyautotransport31@yahoo.com. Give us a call today.
That is Sue at Murphy Auto Transport. If you are looking for a dispatch team, she's also a fully licensed broker and my co-host on Thursdays on Dispatching Live on noon, at noon here on Auto Transport Intel. And you can contact her. You see in the live chat, there's the phone number, there's the email address, and the website. And yeah, let her know you've got a question. And if you want to pass some information to her, send it to me, autotransportintel@gmail.com, and we would love to have you join us on Thursday at noon for Dispatching Live. Okay, let's go into the live chat. I see it happening. Thank you so much, you guys, for making it run. I just keep scrolling, and I really like that. So I got to back it up. I'm going to go back. Let's see. I'm going to say hello. Hey, say hello. It's a live show, and I may misspeak and put pronouns in the wrong order because I'm excited. I'm always excited. I'm excited to be live with you right now. You know, we're transmitting, communicating, sharing information, and I'm reading the live chat. Ty says, the best car shipping business channel. Thank you so much, Ty. Really appreciate that, buddy. Silvermint is here. Hello, Ty, and others. That I don't know. Yeah, we got some new faces in here, so that's cool. Have you seen Carvana's 2 car haulers? Yeah, Carvana, man. In fact, I just saw a Vroom post on LinkedIn, and it was a single car hauler. But yeah, we're seeing a lot. I mean, car hauling is front and center like never before. And I know we get the question, is a single car hauler a car hauler? Well, actually, I think it is. But we're willing to have that debate on a Friday on Cars on the Move. Andrew Serica, looking forward to another great episode. Thanks, Andrew. What's up, Fritz? How are you doing, buddy? Good to see you here. Oh, Kimberly is here. Thank you, Kimberly, for monitoring the live chat, doing what you do. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Ahmed Sharaf, hey, hello everyone. What's up, Ahmed? Thanks for saying hello and tuning into the live chat. Rob Harris, hello. What do we have here? Interstate Corridor. What's up, Rob? Thanks for tuning in. Let's see. So Ty, super sweet setup. Ryan Girardi is here. What's up, Ryan? Let's see. Oh, Danielle Riley. Wow, first time catching you live. Absolutely love your videos. Thank you so much, Danielle. That is really nice. Ty and I, we have talks time to time, you know, taking the temperature, how are we doing? So when I hear that, man, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Mark Grodicke from Superflow Systems is here. What's up, Mark? This is show 167. Mark is very good at keeping track, so thank you so much, man. Paul Machine is here. Hola, friends. Hey, what's up? Saying hello to the gang. Yeah, Paul's part of the gang now. So Paul, you know, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna have to get your repo hammer. See, now I had a repo hammer that I developed a long time ago on the dispatching show, and basically It is, yeah, there you go. You can read it. It is the Auto Transport Intel Repo Hammer. And I guess I may as well explain what in the world is a repo hammer. Well, I confessed to Jordan and Bryanna already that, you know, when I was dispatching loads and a carrier was like, man, are you crazy for dispatching a repo load? It's in-op. Nobody knows where. It's wrapped around a tree. It's not ready. There's no keys. Nobody's there, etc. Next time you think about going and booking a dispatch load from a repo lot, I want you to crack yourself on the knuckles with the repo hammer. I'll just set that aside. So anyways, that's what the repo hammer is. And hopefully we don't need that anymore. That's going to be the goal. We don't need the repo hammer anymore. Gary P's going down to LA from Fremont at the IAA listening in. Thanks, Gary. That's cool. Just shout out at the IAA. Listen, everybody. You got to listen to Auto Transport Intel. He's got a repo hammer. Who needs it? Dave Branch says good evening. What's up, Dave? Thanks for tuning in. Let's see here. Oh, Knucklehead is here. What's up, Knucklehead? Knucklehead reached out to me via email, and I had a phone call. So, yeah, man, we want to talk to you. You can. I rarely talk to folks that, you know, if you need help, you talk to Ty. But if you want to talk about the show and content, yeah, I'd love to hear from you. autotransportintel@gmail.com. Silverman says, my question is, why do I have to hit the skip ad button before the show begins? Why do I have to hit the skip ad button? Oh, you know, I didn't know there were ads before the show. I'm going to make a note. Thanks so much. Ads before show. That's interesting. I don't know if that's a YouTube thing that I can get around or not. So I appreciate that. Maybe because I schedule shows and there's no way of getting around the ads. I don't know. JD Mickle is here. What's up, JD? JD was with us last night on Cars on the Move, and we'll touch up a little upon Cars on the Move. Let's see here. So, yeah, I see it. Wow. Okay, so Ty is in here ringing the bell first with used car inventory. Ty, my man. Yeah, you know what? We had a great Cars on the Move last night. It's a 90-minute meeting. It's not live. Well, it's live, but it's not broadcast. It's not streaming. It's not shared. You have to join and be invited to the meeting, and it's worth it because that way it's small and people get to talk, and we really get a chance to hear from everyone what's going on, what's your strategy, what do you want to try and do differently, and so we talk about that. So thanks for ringing the bell with that, Ty. I really appreciate it. And Mark ringing the bell. What's up, Mark? This is for Ty's fuel card to go to Omaha tomorrow. You're going to Omaha tomorrow, Ty. Really? That is awesome. Well, Mark, thank you so much. Mark is our friend, our compadre. He's an advertiser. I think he created Superflow Systems. Mark, did you create Superflow Systems? I'm going to say you did. But you're the head honcho there, Superflow Systems, and we'll learn more about it later in the show. But it's end-to-end auto transport software, from giving a quote and taking a lead from that first phone call. You need your car moved? Okay, well, we're going to put you in our system, and then we're going to send it over to the client. We're going to put it on the load board, send it to the app, send it to the TMS, make sure you pick up and deliver, photos, all that stuff. And then when you're done, after you deliver, we can even help you get paid. That's Superflow Systems. So thank you so much, Mark, for your contribution to Auto Transport Intel. It means a lot, buddy. Jay Wilson is here. What's up, Jay Wilson in Durham, North Carolina? Thanks for tuning in. And that's right, it's JD, Paul. It's JD. So listen, man, thank you guys so much for ringing the bell. I appreciate it. Okay, this is going to be tough. I've got to get through industry news. Paul, I'll probably be a few minutes late, but you're not going to want to miss what's happening on industry news. It's right after this. I was just talking about Mark.
Superflow Systems is excited to introduce DispatchCenter.com, a full-service load board for brokers, shippers, carriers, and drivers, featuring integrations with Truckify mobile app and iTruckPay. Use Route Scout technology to build your routes. Maximize truck capacity. Stay loaded at the highest available revenue with the least amount of driving miles. Tell us your lanes. Loadification will alert you to new loads posting in your route. Views instant load notifications sent with Book Now features. Search and book loads directly through the Truckify mobile app. Brokers and shippers, post your loads to Dispatch Center. Give authorized carriers the opportunity to instantly book your loads. Dispatch Center powers the Truckify mobile app, allowing instant load assignment to the driver. Truckify will send inspection reports, geo-located pickup and delivery photos, BOLs, and invoices back to the broker. Brokers, shippers, carriers, and drivers, Dispatch Center, and Truckify have what you need to be more profitable every day.
I mean, every day. So there's the contact info in the live chat, dispatchcenter.com. Go get signed up. Click on Truckify. Get the mobile app. You can email Superflow Systems. Well, shoot, Mark is right here in the live chat if you got a question. But I suppose if you're not with us and you're watching on demand, then you can contact Mark. Hey, by the way, so question: how much of the show do you miss? Where I guess you probably joined somewhere during the monologue, as I'll call it. So yeah, tell me more. Now I'm still going to keep the monologue structure because if you watch on demand, you know what the reason I do the monologue is that I don't understand when I'm watching a live stream, and I literally tune in, I get there at the beginning, and there's somebody staring at me, and they say, "Well, we're just gonna wait a few more minutes and let everybody get in here." So, yeah, we're just gonna wait a couple more minutes. Anyway, I don't understand that. You mean you have nothing to tell me while we wait? Something. Give me anything. Talk about the weather and the traffic or whatever. But what we do is we try to just jump right into information. It's 5 seconds. That isn't too bad. All right, well, that's good to know. All right, listen, we got to get into industry news. We got to get after it, folks. So let's do some. Let's see if we can race through this. We're not going to move too fast, but Paul, you're going to have to, man, I got 13 minutes. All right. So tonight is the Black Book Recovery Update Show with Paul. He's the interview at 8:30 in 13 minutes. And Paul is a friend of mine, and we've got a lot to talk about. You know, we did a Black Book show here. What was that? 6 weeks ago, I think. And I made a video out of it. This is an 11-minute video edit. Transport Inventory Q4 2020. If you haven't seen this, man, I love that video. I think it's fantastic. And it goes fast. It's not 11 minutes. It goes by in like 4. But if you haven't already been to the Black Book site, go to blackbook.com and go to the Market Insights. You can download these like 24-plus page PDFs. Just get it. Learn this stuff. It's amazing. And they do it every week. This one just came out today. That's insane. Thank you, Black Book. Now, you know I talk about the whole auto transport industry ecosystems, right? OEMs, auctions, dealers, shippers, broker services, carriers. I don't leave anybody out. Everybody's allowed. There isn't any, we're not shutting the doors on anybody. And tonight's show, to be specific, is we're really looking at, when we look at Black Book data, there's most parts of the ecosystem represented, and we're going to squeeze that data into services, kind of the repossession industry, used cars, and we're going to focus on individual. Now, I could have called that vehicles, but I called it loads, and we'll see if I change it. But we talk about, this confuses some people. We talk about the back of the store, we talk about the front of the store. Back of the store, that's the transport parking lot, that's traditional auto transport information. But I mean, you know what? Front of the store, that's where your customers are. Where do you get your customers? Do you stay in the back, in the transport parking lot, and look at the load boards, or do you go for your own clients and learn how to talk to dealers? Well, that's what we talk about. And in fact, we caught up with Midwestern car carriers on Friday. Love talking to fleets. And we're going to keep focused on getting more auto transport fleet companies talking on this channel. This was from Friday on Cars on the Move. If you didn't see it, check that out. And they'll be back. We're going to get them back on the show. But this was a great, probably one of my favorite Cars on the Move so far. Thank you so much, Ty and Joe, for that interview. But yes, in the back of the transport parking lot, you will find plenty of information about carriers versus non-asset logistics providers, for example. Thank you, Assertus, for a great blog post. If you haven't read that, check it out. Also, you can catch up in the Freight Brokers Network group. Here's a question for dispatch companies. Are there any dispatch companies willing to train and hire a dispatcher for the second or third shift? Probably not. That's right. That's the slow part. That's not where the action is. And the action is where the loads are being posted, being booked, and where you're going to make the most money. These are things that I talk about. If you haven't seen the Top 12 Car Hauling Load Boards video, I was reminded when I talked to Jordan just yesterday. Actually, I talked to Justin on Saturday. He had seen the video. Jordan had seen the video. If you haven't seen it, check that out. Here's what you'll find in it. Yes, you want to know the top 12 car hauling load boards? I made a list. This is in the video description. You can click on those links, get signed up with all those load boards. You'll be happy you did. Any questions about it, put it in the comments or send me an email. We also, this is on the list, Ready Logistics. Did you know that the Ready Logistics, it says it right here, experience the new One Dispatch app. Download it today. I want to know, do you like the app? Because I don't use it. I'm not a driver. I don't drive and I don't pick up and deliver. So I don't use the One Dispatch app, which is why we talk about visibility and transparency from the dispatch office to the driver's mobile app. In the dispatch office, we see the TMS, where the driver has the app. So let me know how that app is treating you. And they included, there's PDF information. I'm happy to share that. So let me know if you didn't get all that FAQ and information. This, by the way, is the Dispatch Center Carrier Dashboard. Now check this out. I don't know how much you know about the fishing pond. Today's new loads, 111 new loads today. And in the fishing pond on Dispatch Center, you got to get signed up at dispatchcenter.com. You can actually make an offer and communicate with whoever's posting it. Maybe you don't think they have it priced right. Well, the fishing pond, thank you, Mark, at Dispatch Center, allows you to make an offer and negotiate instead of just being faced with a rate that's just not going to work for you. Also, you know that Jack Cooper is participating in this channel. This is a new video I just released. We're hiring. Check this out. It's a great video where we hear from Jimmy Johnston, recruiting. We also talked to Jason Pate, he's a driver trainer, and Lindley Davis, she's an HR, and learn a lot more about working for Jack Cooper, and go to jackcooper.com/careers. Without taking a breath, this is how you get your car shipping news. You watch Auto Transport Intel, put it up on the big screen. You know you can do that. It's YouTube. It's all this technology. We're cast it up to the big screen. Sit back, get comfortable, and tune into previous shows. This is last week's show. If you missed Streamline Remarketing Operations with Auto IMS, ConditionReports.com, and McConkey Auction Group, I'm telling you, you catch up with Auto IMS. They are connecting over 1,000 consigners, 700 member auctions to Streamline Remarketing. Lots of information there. Joe Miller was the interview section with Auto IMS. Then ConditionReports.com, Brian Shear, he was on the show talking about inspections and CRs. And if that wasn't enough, we had Joe Lamons from McConkey Auction Group joining. That was an amazing show. Again, if you haven't seen it, you want to check that out after this show. Also, don't forget to go to autotransportintel.com, click on sign up, become an ATI insider. You want to talk to Ty? It's that time. Now, this is kind of crazy. Okay? Everybody relax. It's a car hauler, and it's a train.
Train. Baby, tape it. Get out.
Oh my gosh.
Train ain't gonna make it stop. Here it goes. We gotta move.
Oh shoot, everybody got
What's
out.
up, Nick? Here goes train right. Hit it. Tape it.
Oh shoot, everybody's getting out.
Tape it.
I am, babe. Let me get
Turn
up
around,
right
turn
here.
around, tape it. Hurry up, tape it. Tape it right now. Tape it.
I am. This shit is crazy. Oh man, you said it too, babe. Now there's gotta be fire. Damn. You said it too.
I told him to call the train station. I tried to call the train station. Gotta call the train station. We just got stolen.
Everybody's
Well, somebody just got demonetized, but I'm telling you, like Ty just said, talk about full throttle. I mean, you know, we have to share this information. We have to be in the know. Somebody sent me a TikTok. You see something that you want me to see and share? Man, I'll tell you what, if it has to do with car hauling, I'm going to share it. But we're going to go back into the news because we got stuff to do. Speaking of a bad day, so this is freight, and I guess this is Romania. I don't know, but gangs are doing Fast and Furious style heists on moving semi trucks to steal PlayStation 5s. So I guess be glad that you're not hauling PlayStation 5s, but if you do see the Road Warrior pull up behind you with some kind of liftgate mechanism, I suggest you accelerate. Also, the marijuana bill passes the House, but it's not going to help truckers. Remember, there's an FMCSA drug and alcohol clearinghouse, and this does not help you. Okay, I know it's no fun to talk about the environment, but we're talking about same-day shipping, not only clogging the roads, but clogging the sky. Rising popularity of same-day delivery might translate to delivery trucks on our roads and greenhouse gases in the skies. The faster a company races to deliver a package, the more likely it is to send inefficient, near-empty trucks to far-flung homes. I know it isn't fun, but the environment is being talked about more and more. In fact, here we go. Maritime, not road transport, should have first call on e-fuels, this report finds. Volvo, talking about they need clear rules on how to end internal combustion engines and move into EV. It's a big deal. Volvo CEL envisions the Swedish automaker becoming an electric-only brand within the next 10 years. Bentley has said it will be electric-only by 2030. So, you know, the shocks just keep coming like a train. Okay, unplugged Cadillac dealers are ditching the brand. This is pretty interesting. About 150 General Motors dealers are parting ways with Cadillac instead of investing in costly upgrades that require you to sell electric cars. So GM gave dealers a choice. You can accept a $300,000 buyout to more than $1 million to exit the brand, or spend $200,000 to upgrade the dealership for the sale of electric vehicles. And about 17% Cadillac's 880 U.S. dealerships agreed to take the offer to end the franchise agreement because many of them, they're not selling a lot of Cadillacs. So that's interesting. Okay. And if that wasn't enough, chip shortages could slow automotive production. VW and suppliers say it could disrupt automotive production in China well into next year. Chip companies say, well, I'll tell you what, then we're going to raise the price and expand production. I don't know why I clicked the bell. That'd be it. Okay, Walmart drops $35 free shipping minimum to better compete with Amazon Prime. Jay, we're way off of auto transport, but it's a signal of what to expect, right? Because how often do we hear about, you know, final mile, last mile, free delivery, I need it right now, where's my car? Well, competition's going to heat up in that space too, I do believe. Now we talk about, obviously, another not fun topic. Oh, where are we at? Congress aims to fund government for a week to buy time for spending and COVID relief deals. So that kind of brings us into, finally, we're in the arena of tonight's topic. Used cars are California's Hot Wheels in the pandemic era. I don't know if the graph fits the headline, but basically, cash-strapped car buyers are snapping up extremely used vehicles. The average transaction price in November was $39,000. Now, that was, I guess, on a new vehicle, but automotive sales site Shift called vehicle values the units 8 years or older with 80,000 miles or more, price range around $10,000, but they can cost as little as $4,000. So that's why we say this is what the dealers are doing for inventory. We talked about it on Cars on the Move last night, an auto transport event. We're talking about dealers looking for individuals that are trying to sell their cars for cash to avoid other channels. And by the way, Paul was the first person to actually talk to me about this topic in depth. Another reason why it's relevant and part of what we're talking about. Hey, shout out to Used Car Week. It's going on right now. RepoCon was last week. I knew it wasn't going to be in here because I did want to give a shout out to, where is it at? Jumanji. Another shout out to Jumanji Fixed Ops Roundtable. That was on Thursday. That was awesome. Ted Ings and crew, great stuff. So I just wanted to make sure I shared that as well. If you don't already know, you need to tune in to DOT compliance. If you're a carrier or a broker or a shipping company and you have a question about MC authority, DOT, brokering, etc., we talk about it. The next DOT compliance show, I'm going to make this 8:30 timeline. The next DOT show is on December 16th. Can't read the fine print. There it is right there. You can actually go to Auto Transport Intel YouTube channel and you can click on that. It's the reminder right there. It's in 8 days. Click on that reminder and please join us. Bring your questions. Every Thursday we go live on Dispatching Live with the load board search advice. Thursdays at noon with Sue and I, and we talk. You know what we're going to do this Thursday? This actually came up. She shared this. Okay, so another carrier. We hear about illegal dispatchers. My goodness. Well, I'll tell you what. Oh, you're in the live chat. Another carrier listing cars, no information, told us to call another guy for all the info. We find out it's not where we thought it was supposed to be. Then there's F-bombs and this and that going on. Oh, wait, I hit the wrong button. Okay, I got to slow down. You know what I'm going to do for a second? I'm going to have I hit the wrong button. I'm going to have an ELD punch break, and I'm going to read some of this. Oh, we got Carlos Braxton is here. What's up, Carlos Braxton? Silver Mint is here. Wow, that's cool. I already said hello to Silver Mint. Richard Mason, Volvo's owned by Mitsubishi. Sweden sold it long ago. Wow, thanks. That's a pretty good insight. Thank you, Richard. Sky is here. What's up, Sky Hallman? Joseph McCleary, hello everyone. We need a blog to tell each other our funny stories. I have a funny story only car haulers and flatbeds would understand and enjoy. Suffice to say it was rough. Okay, that's a pretty good idea. That is a good idea. Okay, I did it. I took a break. I'm going to get back. We just have a couple things left, and then we're gonna go to Paul. So anyways, the F-bombs are flying, and as it's pointed out, you know, we really need to stop worrying about illegal dispatchers and focus on illegal carriers. There, we said it. Okay. So we're going to talk about that on Dispatching Live. Cars on the move on Fridays. Like I said, if you missed last Friday with Midwestern car carriers, that was awesome. But we're hoping to catch up with Ken, SYR Association in Kansas City. What does Ken do? He works in auto recovery. So we want to catch up with him. This is Auto Recovery Week on Auto Transport Intel. So we got to catch up with Ken on Friday. I hope that happens. And then you do want to tune in next Tuesday because we're expecting Unicorn Transport. Hey, who isn't? Right? You know, everything is perfect and everything is free, and I'm expecting Unicorn Transport to come in on wings and deliver my vehicle at exactly 2:35, and I want a bow on it, and that's just plain wavy guy maintenance. Oh, by the way, I got an email today from Carissa. Now, I think I saw an ad or learned a couple weeks ago about Carissa, and it is finalized today. Carissa is going to be on Auto Transport Intel on February 9th. So I'm looking forward to that. Jay and Company, shout out. What's up, Carissa? Thank you guys so much for jumping on the show. This is the Car Business Channel, the car shipping business channel, man. You know what? I'm clearly pretty wound up and excited about tonight's show. So without further ado, I'll tell you what. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to jump onto this video, and when we come back, Paul, get ready because you're about to get your Zoom email invite, and Paul's going to join us, and we're going to talk a little bit more about Paul and Black Book, and we're going to move into the next segment of the show. It's going to be great. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Tuesday Nights Live, episode 167. We're going to be right back.
Even with all the tools at our disposal, there is still about 48 million empty miles in our network. Empty miles happen when driver Bob makes his delivery and returns home without freight. After all, there aren't cars just waiting for delivery on every corner. But there is non-automotive freight, and our network is already active around the country. So what if Bob could leverage his trailer to deliver something other than cars? We searched high and low to find a way to do this within regulations, and we found it. We can do this now with current equipment, and we're working on innovative new trailers that will deliver even more cars and more freight. This is a total game changer, and here's the math. We're already paying the cost of those 48 million empty miles, and with no revenue to show for it. We can make $1.50 to $2.50 in revenue per mile with dry freight. Since dry freight is not as specialized as automotive, backhauls can be found without adding miles to Bob's trip. This means Jack Cooper will make even more profit, and our drivers will make even more money. It also means fewer miles in America's delivery network and lower carbon emissions for the country. Call it a win-win-win-win for driver Bob, for Jack Cooper, for America, and for our investors. We're Jack Cooper, driving innovation for the 21st century.
All right, and that is Jack Cooper, and we've got a link to the Jack Cooper careers in the live chat. There's also a phone number. You want to follow the HR prompts if you're looking for, it's got car hauling. They have car hauling careers available, DOT drivers, mechanics, yard supervisors, etc. So you want to go visit jackcooper.com/careers if you're not sure which way to go. So also I want to say hello. Hey, Nelson Cruz Moran. What's up? ND Auto Transport is with us. Thanks so much for joining us. And Ty and Sky and Mark keeping the conversation going, and Silver Mint. But if that's not enough, okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm only 6 minutes late. So without further ado, I want to welcome Paul Machin from Black Book. Paul, thank you so much for taking the time tonight. Please say hello to the Auto Transport Intel audience.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me again, Jay, and my team. I hope I'm coming through clear. Everyone can hear me.
You sound good. Yep, you look great. Coming through clear. Oh, and I'm going to check my volume seems to change over time. Let me do a mic check. 1, 2, check. Can you guys hear me okay? Could you hear me okay while I was giving my whole spiel before I took a breath? Okay. All right, my audio, I think, I think it's a little bit loud. Okay, my audio's decent. So give me a mic check again, Paul, please.
Testing. How does that sound?
Yeah, you sound pretty good. Coming through loud and clear, so it sounds really good. Okay, so here we are. And, you know, Paul, when I was looking at, you know, you've been on the show before, and you're with Black Book. Do me a favor, for anyone that doesn't know, in a nutshell, what's Black Book? What do you do, and what's Black Book for?
So Black Book is the industry premier valuation guide that's used in the marketplace today. I like to say that nobody goes to the auction and uses any other guide to make a purchase decision to write a check for a vehicle, whether it's at the auction or even at the dealership. The valuation that we deliver is a combination of multiple auctions resources and other resources that we collect data on. So when we deliver a valuation, it's unbiased because we're not owned by any auction houses. And our data science team, who you'll get to meet later on in a few minutes here, they put a lot of energy and effort behind the science. And then we have some art that's combined with it. We've got about 300 years worth of experience of men and women who visit the auctions they used to. Now they attend them virtually. And they get to talk to, they engage with the dealers, they engage with the haulers. They want to understand the micro and macroeconomic effects. That's a condition of the auction. So when we put a valuation together that's being used not just by the auto dealers or auctions or other sources like that, we're used by lenders, we're used by investment groups, we're used by insurance companies, logistics for specifications on height, width, ground floor access, and so on and so on. So it's pretty impressive. And now we've automated it with our API. So there's a plethora of ways that the data can be used.
Well, and I know that from when we've talked, one of the things you've been really good at not only sharing all this data and trends and analyses, but you keep planting ideas of what to look for. You've already told me a couple things that have changed my point of view, and then I start seeing those things popping up in the news. One of them being, you told me something about carriers when they're delivering vehicles and looking for used, like probably heavily used inventory, near
Right.
the driveway that maybe they'd be interested in letting go. Maybe they're already in the process of working
Right.
towards that direction, but there is no business model where carriers tap into that. And we see, I don't know the data on this. You might, but how many dealers are doing it that way? And we talked to a guy last night on Cars on the Move, and he is getting his used inventory by contacting individuals that want to sell their cars. He doesn't even buy at the auction.
Yeah, yeah. It's they're trying to reduce. It's the turn times is absolutely critical in this market we have today. So the faster a dealer can get a piece into their reconditioning process or on the lot, so they can retail it. That's the whole goal. A lender looking to repossess a vehicle. Right now, there's a trend pushing more towards accommodating customers instead of going through involuntary repossessions to avoid the delay once you pick the vehicle up as it's being repoed. That time, that transition is very, very expensive. So dealers are shortcutting the process and want to go straight to the customer. But many times the customer doesn't realize that the vehicle they might have, average customer today has about 4 cars in the driveway, 3 to 4, and they don't know that clunker that's been there, their kid's been driving. It was the dad's, and the dad's passes away. Now it's down 10 years later. It's still worth a couple $1,000s, and they would be willing to sell it if someone made the offer.
That's right. It's amazing. And on the auto repossession side, we were having those conversations, which is how we met Carissa at Constant.ai about some of the solutions that you were interested in talking about. I know it's more of a financial piece, and it's more it's either pre-transport or pre-auto auto recovery. But you've got a lot of irons in the fire. And so it's really great talking to you, whether we're just having a phone call or just, having you live on the show. So thank you so much.
I enjoy it. It's you can tell I'm as passionate as you are about what we could do to help each other grow. And I always say, rising tides raise all ships.
I love it when you say that. It's so true. And what's really interesting too is that's one of the things I'm proud of on this channel, is that all the networking that goes on. And then when someone, really is a fit, gets the network, wants to talk more, suddenly I'm thinking about that person when I'm on a phone call with somebody else. And then, what's the phrase about raising the ships? Say it again.
A rising tide raises all ships.
It's awesome, man. Well, I'll tell you, I think we probably should, let's do this. Let me add... Bear with me, because I don't have a slick way to do this one. There, see, you just saw the screen where I'm gonna add Alex and Laura while we're live. By the way, what'd you think of that train video?
That was
nuts?
It blew me away.
Me too.
Away. While you're doing that, let me refresh from our conversation a couple weeks back.
Oh, I love it.
We talked about the transition that dealers need to make, going into 2021, because of the shortened supply of new vehicle inventory and new vehicle sales, right? So the anticipation is we're going to see 13.9, maybe 14 million new vehicle sales. That's a problem for the typical franchise dealer. They're used to selling 130 new and used combined. And the way the market is next year, OEMs want them to sell more of that share as new vehicles, but with limited inventory, that's not going to be a possibility. So to make up for the shortage in new vehicles inventory is the availability of used, especially premium used vehicles. And thankfully, that flood is coming, right? So there's going to be really nice marriage. The opportunity is getting that vehicle quicker from whether it's at the auction, where it's a direct buy from a consumer, to the dealer's driveway. It's like that same story, the chicken and the egg. What came first, right? You wholesale the car first, or does the transportation come in? I think it's a combination of both. There needs to be much more efficiencies put in line. And you've had several guests on your show here recently, new startups that I can share are doing really, really well because they've got a model that's really working. That driveway, that is just going to explode. I've had full conversations today with brand new startups looking for ways to tap that driveway. And you've got an audience that's already doing it. They're just not used to asking the question. Hey, Alex.
That is awesome. Yeah. Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Doing all right. Hi, Jay.
Great. Thanks for joining us. Please do. You've been here before, but please do say hello to the Tuesday Nights Live audience and tell us something new. He's like, what?
Well, this time I'm live from Atlanta. Last time I was in Florida. It's nice to be here.
That's awesome.
It's a lot of fun.
You got a lot of great reading behind you, right?
That's my home office now. Yes.
That's awesome,
my
man.
Library.
Well, interesting enough, as you were saying, Paul, is that I had a guy contact me, and he wanted to devise another way for dealers to interact with new and used car buyers and help new and used car buyers contact dealers efficiently, find the vehicle they're looking for. And I'm thinking, yeah, I've already heard of that many times. But what I haven't heard of many times is the consumer driveway company.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. And that's why it's so important if you're gonna develop a new business, you have to be at the tip of the spear. Right?
That's right.
Because even if you're just right behind the tip, you're still on the shaft. I don't know if anybody says that, but it's a really interesting point, and I love it when you provide these insights, and I think we've got some of that tonight. What kind of insights and data did you all? I don't know. Do you have some things
Yes,
to
we do.
present? Okay,
Alex.
awesome. All right, take it away.
Paul, do you want to share the screen, or should I?
You want to drive? I mean, I have it, but I think it'd be easier.
All right, let me share.
Cool. And we're in the live chat. By the way, everyone in the live chat saying hello. Thank you guys so much. Hey, what's up, Paul Meyer?
Paulie.
Yeah, Paul is with us. It's super cool.
We see your screen, Alex.
All right. All right. So the last time we were here, it was, I guess, October. So we'll update a little bit on how the market is recovering. It's still a lot of things is still about the COVID. It's still controlling lots of pieces in and around us. All right. So in October we talked about expectation from everyone, from lenders, from repo companies, from transportation companies about repossessions. When we talked to lenders in October, September, August, their biggest worry was what are they going to do with all of those vehicles when they repossess them? And the whole process is now, as you probably know, is getting longer and longer, from DMV to transportation to auction. And the worry was what they're going to do with those vehicles over the winter months. Apparently, they decided not to repossess a lot of vehicles. We've been talking to lenders, captives, and they are pushing the can down the road. They're trying not to repossess vehicles right now. On another hand, they're preparing to do that in Q1. At some point, it's going to become an economic issue, not a political question. They will need to start repossessing, and that's the expectation from larger lenders, from subprime lenders, from captives, that the moratoriums have ended in all of the states, and now the policies are going to change. But in Q4, what we've seen is that still limited supply of those repossessed vehicles at the auction. And dealers were keeping a lot of their trade-ins at their dealerships. So there was not a lot of, not a lot of inventory going through wholesale market. And we have a slide to look at how that volume has been trending. We also saw some weakening on the retail side. There's a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace. Consumer confidence is low. Congress is still thinking, working through the stimulus, so consumers are unsure what's going to happen. And consumer confidence is low, and usually consumer confidence is tied to those big purchases. Am I going to buy a vehicle or not? But as in October, our projection in 3 years is a strong market. So we're going to have a limited supply in 3 years. This year, retail is much lower than previous years. So in 3 years, not as many cars will come back to the market. So let us walk through a few highlights. And we'll start with a seemingly unrelated subject, is air travel. Air travel is still about 60% down year over year. On this graph, that black line right here, it's the year over year change. It's obviously recovering since almost shutting down the whole industry in April, but we're still 60% down. And if people are not flying for leisure business, they're not renting cars. Rental companies are really struggling right now. The demand is not there. They were hoping for good Thanksgiving, but even though people flew, but we're still 60% down. So when they don't have a lot of demand, they're not buying new cars. So here we're looking at rental purchases by rental companies. Last few years, they were purchasing about 1.92 million vehicles a year. This year, we're going to drop below 1 million. So probably about 50% drop for rental companies, for new purchases by rental companies. And those are the vehicles that come back to the market the fastest. They keep them for about 12 to 18 months, and then return them to the used market. If about 1 million vehicles were not purchased this year, that means they're not coming back in 2021, 2022. So we're going to have a limited supply of those newer used vehicles, and that's good for prices. It's going to help with prices, but the inventory is going to be limited for those vehicles. Let's see. And here, what I was referring a little bit earlier, this is overall wholesale market, the volume at wholesale market and how it changed year over year. So this is 2020 until November. We've seen, especially in the fall, a reduction in number of vehicles going through the wholesale market, and there are several reasons for that. One of them is weaker retail demand. So sales rate at auctions are not as high as what they were in the summer. In the summer, we saw sales rate conversion rates into 60s. Right now, we're in mid to lower 50s. So dealers have been very selective what they buy and how many vehicles they buy. So the sold volume at the wholesale market is limited. Dealers are trying to keep those trade-ins when they get from consumers at the dealership, so they don't have to go to the auction. So all of that contribute to the shortage of supply going through the auctions and wholesale channels. But so here we're looking at different wholesale channels. Larger auctions we've seen large auctions being hit more than others. They are mostly digital still, although I believe Mannheim's has about 12, 13 live auctions around the country, but for the most part they're still digital, and the volume is not as large as it used to be. So the other independent auctions are doing much better than larger auctions in terms of volume, year-over-year change. Non-bidding environment, those are those trade-ins or actually grounding dealers buying the lease returns. In prior years, they would take a lot of it to the auction. Now they're keeping it. We saw about 40% year-over-year increase in those vehicles being kept by dealers. They're just buying those 3-year-old vehicles in good condition. And we also saw a large growth in dealer-to-dealer platforms. That's where individual dealers going through online apps and buying vehicles from each other. So that's a big piece of it is transportation, taking that vehicle from one dealer to another. And the last channel here that we looked at is direct to dealers. So a lot of fleet companies like to bypass all of the auctions, bypass other channels, and just sell directly to dealers. And what we've heard from a lot of fleet companies, especially in the summer and the beginning of fall, is that the transportation was one of the biggest bottleneck. They had vehicles that they can sell to dealers, but they couldn't move them. Transportation was a big issue for various fleet companies.
So Alex, I think just about every show I've heard that comment from Jay and his team, where transportation is, as much as you want to promote more of it, it's still limited to meet the demand that's out there. Talking about that dealer to dealer, Scott Hallman, who's in the link, his one auction view, aggregating all of those dealer to dealer platforms, making it so easy for your companies to find. Look at that, 60%, and that's just going to grow. That's going to grow. And you'll see more and more of those dealer to dealer will also include those driveway pickups.
Yeah, so market is getting, I think, more fragmented. Dealers are expanding their acquisition channels. So on one hand, it's probably good for a dealer, but it also adds logistic issues. Now you're moving one vehicle from one dealer to another instead of a large load from auction to maybe a larger dealership. So the transportation need is there, and it's going to grow. A few slides on the retail business. It's getting weaker in the last few months, but I think to surprise of many, it was very strong during the, I guess, Q2 and Q3. The stimulus did really help the retail business. Consumers had cash to spend, and they were buying vehicles. We saw that the growth in just growth in the prices through the summer into the fall. Now we're starting slight reversal, but it's the prices are not falling. They I guess slowly declining. It's a very strange year where let's just in the retail. Inventory is almost back. So on this graph, we're looking at dealer vehicles listed for sale on the retail sites, and we're almost back to where we were in 2019. So inventory is there for consumers to choose from. Where we see the issues are a few segments where demand is extremely strong, like pickup trucks. Demand is exceptionally strong on both on used and new side, and that's probably one of the few segments where there are shortages of inventory. But overall, we're almost back to normal levels of inventory. But as Paul was mentioning, vehicles have been sold very quickly. We started a year when for average vehicle was listed somewhere between 42, 44 days. Now we're somewhere in mid-30s. And it's much lower for pickup trucks. I believe it's somewhere in 20s, and a little bit higher for sedans. But it's all about the speed right now. Dealers don't want to get stuck with inventory. So they moving it. Demand is still there, so inventory is being moved, and the quicker they can get it, the better it's for them. So getting that vehicle quick to the dealership is essential.
Yep. Once they buy that vehicle, the clock is ticking.
It's a block of melting ice.
It's a block of that's right. It's a block of melting ice, and they want that as fast as possible.
So getting a little bit more into repossessions, just the overall picture of an economy. On the left, we have basically our employment situation. In April, when most of the things were shut down, we lost about close to 21 million jobs. We have recovered about 10 million of them. So we still have a lot of people without job, without paycheck. So we still have a weak employment situation, and that's reflected on the right side where we have the blue graphs are hardships, number of accounts of the automotive account in the hardship status. Last year, less than half a percentage point of accounts were in some kind of hardship. Right now, after a lot of improvements in summer, we're still about 3.5% of overall accounts in some kind of hardship situation, and it's much worse if you look at the lower graph for subprime accounts. About 9.5% of all accounts are in hardship. About 12% of accounts, 9.5% are actually in delinquencies. This is truly our blue collar recession, where lower salary tier is still recovering. Unemployment is still about 20% down compared to pre-COVID level, and most of the white collar jobs and higher employment brackets they recovered to pre-COVID levels. So we are seeing that. I guess now they call it the K recovery, where you have top tiers are recovering much faster, and most of them are already recovered to pre-COVID level, and the bottom tiers are still in the recession. So these numbers, these delinquencies, these hardship numbers, for now, lenders are trying to avoid their possessions. They're kicking the can down the road, but we've heard from subprime, especially subprime lenders, that they run out of time. They need to start repossessing. The bottom line is going to start hurting very soon.
And after us, you're going to have Carissa, and she's going to talk about some of the solutions that she's created using the technology that she has available to her to help address those situations. Some companies, some lenders call it the accommodation. What are they doing to accommodate people who tend to be good paying customers, but they've been struggling recently? And I just came across a statistic that I was reading from Equifax. It's about 9% of consumers that they have are in some form of an arrangement, an accommodation to avoid repossession. It could mean an involuntary repossession. It could mean voluntary repossession. We saw an example this morning from an auction out west where we were able to identify that a good portion of the vehicles that were being sold through the lane were not being represented as involuntary repossessions, but the prices they were just blowing through this inventory kind of let you know that they were voluntary repossessions, and they were taking advantage of the write-downs and some of the laws that give them the advantage to take that loss on those types of vehicles. We saw some of these were being written down $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 back a book, and without having the advantage of being able to disclaim that as a voluntary repo, you wouldn't be able to do that. and have the advantage of the write-off.
So the expectation is that this year we will have a much lower level of repossessed vehicles hitting the market. Just we had moratorium for 6 months, and now lenders are slow to get those vehicles. They're trying to accommodate as many as people as they can. But in 2021, I think the general consensus it's those vehicles are going to hit the market. Economy is still in a weak spot. Those delinquencies at some point will move it to repossession. It's just the question is timing, and I think a lot of larger institutions are about to start the process. There are some trickles here and there, but larger lenders are ready to start the process. And then Paul had some few alternatives that lenders are trying to do right now.
Yes, and Carissa will explain more in detail some of those options, but think of what we had to do in 2008, 2009 to try to minimize the flood of mortgage foreclosures. And so that same methodology is now being looked at by some lenders, there's about 25 right now, that are trying to figure out how they can manage flexible payments, interest only, defined amount, a limited time frame to make a smaller payment, maybe help the consumer by reducing the interest rate for a short period of time, helping them trying to trade or sell the vehicle on their own, cramming down the outstanding balances before getting to voluntary repossession and a repossession. We see the valuation is critical to understanding at what point do you make those choices or guide the customer down that path. It's not just what the customer can pay, it's what can I get out of the vehicle if I can get it sold quicker. And understanding the true precision of that value, including the transportation costs to get that vehicle, the potential reconditioning, if there's any, all of those factors have to be put in there. And so the challenges that I see with the repo industry is getting their hands around understanding what is the real lost dollars per day. I don't think that's really been itemized, really understood. On the retail side, there's not a dealer in the world that you go ask, tell me what your profit per day is. They're going to give you an idea of how much it costs them every single day. If they sell that vehicle in 10 days, 15 days, 20 or 30, they know the profit per day. We don't know what's going to happen with government support. Hopefully we'll get something that'll help alleviate and allow more lenders to partner with companies like Carissa's to be able to help that, put a human, I call it the human touch in these trying times. We need this level of compassion for these consumers they're through no fault of their own have put in this position. And that brings us to the lender willingness. There's close to 25 right now that are looking at trying to figure out how to do it. And that's where the creativity comes in.
I think so a typical vehicle, it depreciates between 1% and 1.5% per month in a typical year. So outside of 2020, it is very seasonal. So that the gray line here is the typical weekly depreciation. So we see vehicle actually appreciating in the normal spring market and dropping rapidly in the fall months. So understanding that depreciation helps lenders to make the decision or to have options on what to do, how they can help consumers, or how they can help their bottom line. I think that's all I had.
So on that slide, Jay,
Wow.
on this slide right here.
Yeah.
And
I just want to say that peak in the middle, if you can't read it, that's the beginning of July. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
That's the summer.
Okay. What were you going to say, Paul? I'm sorry.
So I had a dealer group in Southwest Texas that's 16 rooftops, and they called me this afternoon. They were asking about the residual valuation solutions that we have. And I asked them, tell me what your use case is. Do business with carriers who are willing to commit to, you're at this auction, I just bought 10 vehicles here, and it should take you 2 days. And in those 2 days, this is what we're willing to lose in residual value. Day 3, that's a chargeback to you. That means that the car hauler, it will get charged back if they're not delivering the vehicle within that certain time frame. So I asked them, I said, there's no one doing that now? There's no guarantee on-time delivery and stuff like that? Said, not really. They're not looking at that. But that would be a value add if a transportation was realistic, not like a FedEx where you're having accidents and stuff like that, but realistic in transportation times and understanding. I'm picking up an asset for a customer that's losing money while I'm trying to get there. How can I reduce that spend and pick up more business by guaranteeing I'm going to get there in a certain time frame? And I wish that was one of my concepts I came up with, but it was a conversation that happened this afternoon. Because they charge a chargeback to each department in a dealership that goes over a certain amount of time frame that's been allotted to get that car frontline ready.
Wow, if you, I'd love to see in the live chat comments about carriers being docked for being late. Not that those things kind of, there's a level of that exists in words, but if that begins to happen transactionally through your device, you're a day late, so here's your bill, or here's, right, wow. And maybe that will happen. I don't think I've heard anybody say that specifically. Like, Mark, can you imagine in your mobile app that dealers have a mechanism that once that sand runs out of the little, maybe that's what you put a little sand dial on the app. And there's a guy with a repo hammer. No, I mean, that sounds pretty wild. But that probably sounds like something that will happen, I guess.
Well, you can reverse it and incentivize if cars delivered earlier.
Right. Do we get a bonus? Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, exactly. That's going to be the only way I think that it would be agreed to on a mass scale is, all right, well, we're going to, if we're early, you pay double.
I had to share it with you. They brought it up.
Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. And it's a good thing I wasn't there. In my referee shirt on a Thursday, I'm telling you, get pretty wound up. So that is pretty interesting. Yeah, keep it coming. I love that stuff. I mean, I don't love, but you know what I'm saying. All right, I'll tell you what. Here's what we're going to do. This is great. We're having a good time. We're going to keep the party going. I know Jordan and Bryanna are chomping at the bit. So I'll tell you what, I will, Jordan, Bryanna, I'm going to bring you guys in. I'm going to email you at the same time. While the email invites are coming, go ahead and check this out.
Very good, yeah.
So you're rolling.
Oh, yeah.
Moving cars?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. Come on, go ahead and tell me. I want to know about how hard car hauling is. I really do.
Well, with the election and the holidays, things definitely slowed down a little bit with the dealers buying. The auctions haven't had enough cars in Kansas City lately, it seems like. The dealers have been complaining about that, having to go elsewhere to buy cars further out east or further south towards Dallas.
Are you hearing, I'm up at America's all the time, and I'm seeing guys show up that I've never seen at America's.
Right.
You know why I'm like, what are you doing here? You know what they said? Their car's running through.
Right.
I'm going where I can see the car.
Yeah, it's a different game at the moment from what I know of the game. I'm looking to see maybe some normalcy come the new year. Maybe mid-January, dealers might start buying again after the holidays. Spring's upon us at that point. New president, new year, new everything. So I hope everybody gets back out and hopefully COVID dies down a little bit and we can fix some of those issues and try to find some normalcy. But
don't get me started.
Yeah, it's
not on this.
Right, it's rough.
We'll talk about that.
It's rough, but I feel like if you look hard enough and you put in the work's there. You just got to go do it.
Yeah.
All right, and welcome back to Auto Transport Intel. That's a short video where Ty was talking to, is it John Ashby? And he was the one, he had some theft, and he caught up with him talking about the market. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the live chat, chiming in, and your patience. And I really appreciate your patience because we now have with us Jordan is here.
Hey guys.
And it's first time on the show. We just met, was it yesterday?
It was yesterday, yeah. Justin gave the intro, I think, to us over the weekend, and first time we got to chat was yesterday.
So, I mean, Jordan, you are an auto recovery professional. So please tell us a little bit more about yourself and Bryanna's joining in too, and you know Bryanna.
Yeah, sure. So, guys, my name is Jordan Sawalqah. I started a repossession company in the greater Phoenix metro area in 2009 called Alpha Recovery. That was slowly went from Phoenix and then slowly kind of grew throughout the state. And then about 5 years ago, we started a software company called ClearPlan. So the repossession companies struggled a lot with what transporters did. You know, we're an industry, I feel like, that gets everything kind of last minute, right? Here we are in a day and age of tech. We have smartphones. We're all communicating on smartphones. Yet we were giving, you know, up until 2013, 14, we were giving our agents paper to run on, right? So we aren't sending a messenger pigeon as a text. So it was kind of silly and redundant. We felt like that agents were having to run on paper, no technology. So we had founded ClearPlan. ClearPlan is basically the entire logistics platform in which repossession companies nationwide run all of their paper. It alleviates having to take paper, build a run list, etc. Right? So it was the first native app. So native in a mobile device, you could use it on Apple or iOS. It's free of charge. We ended up having a large integration partner called Recovery Database Network. And Recovery Database Network is both where recovery agents work out of and clients are putting work into. So that was our first major integration partner, like I had said. So now you had all of the agents, instead of having to build a run list, do these very manual processes like car haulers, time is money for the repossession agent. They finally had a live action system that they could use just on their cell phone. They could take the point they were looking for. They could build, instead of having to build a run list, they could get turn-by-turn directions to any address they were looking to go to. And we really streamlined technology in trying to get basically repo trucks on target addresses, right? So the more cars we repossess, the more car haulers get to pick up cars from us, more clients are happier, recovery percentages are increasing, et cetera, right? So, you know, ClearPlan trucked along for a very long time. It went semi-viral in the repossession market. It took a lot of, I would say that 95% of the largest repossession companies are on ClearPlan. And then it's kind of sitting there after about, I would say 2 to 3 years, we had to really hand the companies off to our family because ClearPlan became so busy. So that being said, you know, we're talking to, my wife is now running my repo company. My business partner at the time was Justin Zane of Zane Investigations. His sister is now running his company. And we're sitting there talking with the girls one day, we're brainstorming, and they said, listen, you guys built your cool little widget that put a bunch of cars in the yard, but like 60% of this business is getting cars off of the lot. So that was kind of like a aha moment, right? The same thing that we did with ClearPlan. We had to solve a problem. We wanted to implement technology. I often joke that the repossession industry and probably the car hauler industry was the only industry keeping the digital camera game in the business, right? We couldn't use, we couldn't just use a simple cell phone to take photos of a car. So that's really where the advent of ClearData comes in, right? So ClearData is the post-recovery tool for all repossession companies. So you've got ClearPlan that's going to come, let me start here. Recovery Database Network takes the order, it puts it out into the field via ClearPlan. That car then gets repossessed by a recovery agent via ClearPlan. Once that car is repossessed, it's going to flow over to ClearData. So ClearData is the post-recovery management tool. It's how we're giving photos to the clients, et cetera. And this is really where the transporter piece chimes in. Transportation is just as big of a pain in the butt for the repossession agent as it is for the transporter. We promise it's hard. You know, we have transporters that would sometimes show up late. You know, paperwork is missing. We can't release a car without paperwork. We have policy procedure. We have to meet with our clients, and paperwork is holy, the condition report, the release, et cetera. So we figured, okay, there's got to be a better way. We can streamline the process for the recovery agent doing digital photos, et cetera. So how can we make life easier for the transporter? That's definitely a pain point, right? So that's when the clear data comes in. Actually, it is completely, it's going to be a scheduler. So you can have a calendar with all of your transport appointments for the day. So the repossession companies know what they're going to be looking at for that day. Also, another really cool part about clear data is that all transport companies and auctions are booking their appointments online. So there's no longer the need to pick up the phone, confirm 10 units. If the car is ready to go, everything has been completed, you can go ahead and schedule that appointment. If anybody's familiar with OpenTable, it works a lot like that. The next available appointment schedule you can have, you can put 5-10 cars on that appointment. If you have a 10-car hauler, we really streamline that process. And then we created in-app, our own technology, an entire digital signature portion. So what we really did was we streamlined all of those inconvenient kind of post-recovery processes. That's something that agents aren't getting paid for. I know that transporters make their money on picking up cars off of the lots. So we wanted to make it easy for both parties. So a transporter can come now, to kind of reverberate what Alex said. It's been a very unique year, to say the least. So a couple of months ago, we released a Clear Data kiosk. So now transporters and customers alike can come and have a completely touch-free redemption process. They can sign everything in a waiting room for the repo company or online. The docs can be emailed out, bill of ladings can be emailed out to the transport companies, and they have kind of completely contactless transport/redemption with customers. So I booked kind of a mock appointment just to kind of show everyone what the repossession company is seeing. So let's, I'm going to share my screen if you don't mind here.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, so you guys can see okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is our test account for Clear Data. I just threw an appointment in here. Let me move this. Okay, cool. So I threw a mock appointment in here so you can see all of the lots, whether it's transport, personal property, etc. This was actually not organized at all previous to Clear Data. Agents were kind of flying by the seat of their pants on this and booking customer appointments. And if they weren't using sometimes technology like Setmore, etc., that created problems because there was MPPI going in Setmore. DocuSign was the same way. It's a lot like even social media platforms. Anything you put in here, that's actually our document, our data. We had personal data going out. So that's why we kept everything in-house, all SOC 2 compliant, right?
Right.
So this is going to be a transport appointment. You can see it's grayed out. This is after hours. I just scheduled it around this time just to show you guys. We have this little information eye here, so we can see that this is actually a vehicle transport that's supposed to be picked up. It's for a Volkswagen Beetle. ABC Auto looks like the transport company. I can go ahead and click that, expand that appointment. I can see the name of the transport company, the transport driver, the transporter's email, the final destination if there is one, if it's going to an ADESA auto auction, etc. We can put that in here. Do we have keys, the proper release? These were checkpoints that we wanted to make sure our agents had and our customers had before we released a unit to transport. There's nothing worse than having to go to auction. So we can do a kiosk appointment, which you see this appointment's already been confirmed. So if a transporter books any appointments online, the office still has to confirm them. We do give control to the recovery agency still. So transporters aren't making dry runs. No one loves coming to a repossession lot. They just came 45 miles out of area to find out the vehicle has been redeemed or it doesn't have keys, right? So once that appointment has been scheduled with Clear Data, you can confirm that as the agent. And let's just say I wanted to delete this appointment for the reason of vehicle redemption. I can say I want to delete and I want to text an email. I want to delete this appointment and I can actually put whatever I want in here, right? So customer redeemed vehicle, I send that rejection and now the transport company has been given an email, a redeemed unit. And I can send that via text as well. So however the transport company wants to be communicated with when they book online, they'll actually book right on the recovery agent's website. They'll get that cancellation as well. So really what we try to do with Clear Data is not only improve the post-recovery process for all the recovery agents, but try to create that synchronization with transport companies as we are all in, Jay, we can call the same ecosystem, right? We're all in what is the semi-thankless, sometimes a semi-thankless job, So we wanted to make it as efficient as possible. And there was definitely a lot of room to grow that efficiency matrix on the recovery side and also for the transport side. So we've had a lot of really positive feedback from transporters. the fact that they can get their orders, they come over to them from client. And now, transporters for our repo company, we have a ton of companies on this nationwide. Now just the normal process is, hey, I'm going to go to their website and I'm going to book that appointment online. No need to pick up the phone, ask if the vehicle's ready. You can't book a car that hasn't been completed, etc. So it's just a really, really awesome tool.
Bro, that's amazing. Thanks for showing that to us. I took control of the screen because I figured you were probably near the end of that.
Sure.
Lots of amazing stuff. You made me think of when I used to drive around. Okay, so I was in Los Angeles, and I had the Thomas guide sitting in the seat, right? You know what it's like to drive around Los Angeles trying to get through the Thomas guide? Okay, now I've moved on from A2 to B6. And it was that's the level of change that we've all experienced from the paper craziness to, I mean, obviously there's then we move into digital craziness, but hopefully it's less crazy, more transparent, more visible, more connected, and so that is pretty amazing. I want to say hello to Bryanna for taking the time, also joining us. Bryanna, do me a favor, say hello to the Auto Transport Intel audience. Tell us a little bit more about you.
Hello, auto transport industry. We are glad that you are including us in your platform here. We're glad to connect with you. Much like my colleague that I look up to very much, Jordan, I was happy that he was actually included in this too, because that tool that he was explaining is something that we use at our recovery agency in Houston, and it's a game changer. It really, really is. And I kind of jumped in at the last minute there where he was talking about ClearData. I don't even know if he got a chance to talk about ClearPlan, which was the original program. That is where we map all of our money, right? I know you and I, Jay, had a previous call, and I said that Jordan map is my money map.
Mapping
right?
money.
And that's where all of my work goes, right? And is filtered through. So ClearData really takes care of that post process, which is amazing. Because like he said, the post process was a circus, especially if you had multiple lots, multiple locations, multiple states. We actually are in a unique position where we have multiple, which is his parent company, RDN Car, which is Recovery Database Network. So we have two RDNs at my company, which we merged, which they kindly actually frantically spent about 3 weeks merging my two RDNs into one ClearPlan. It makes it unique because when we purchased the second company that we run, they were running a different mapping program. And we kind of said, okay, well, let's hit it head to head. And ClearPlan won out 10 out of 10 times, just crushed it. I mean, outperformed it. It made us be able to outperform every month and continue our growth and continue our progress and service our clients correctly. And then ClearData came, and, you know, I'm sure you guys have some pain points with recovery agencies. Like we might have transporters.
Yeah, you don't say.
Haven't always been the best of friends.
Get that repo hammer out again, okay?
You know what? You better stop. I'm going to come steal that. You're going to have to just put ClearData on that now, because I think we should all use it. But anyway, I mean, we have, ClearData has made us be able to develop really good, trusting relationships with our transporters, right? Like, it's a game changer. Not only, I mean, we don't just have to deal with you guys. We have to deal with debtors who come in that, you know, need their personal property. And sometimes we don't, you know, get to follow our typical policies where it's, you know, 24 to 48 hours before inventory, even with COVID. Like if they have, you know, emergency medication, we have to accommodate these debtors. So it's not just transporters that we have to accommodate on the daily. And we can schedule you guys for the most part, but we can't schedule them. We don't get to tell them no, because of our CFPB, you know, regulations. Mm-hmm. And so it's not just you guys. And if we can develop a better relationship with you guys, I mean, it's not like we can educate the debtors on like, well, this is how you can be a really great debtor, right? We have to work together at the end of the day. So tools like ClearData and these types of dialogues that we can open are so important.
Agreed.
Yeah, well said. And that's the thing is that, it is interesting. That's why I find it so important to learn more about the other verticals rather than shutting out everybody that's not in my vertical. Because the more we understand about the problems the other guy has, and that, I mean, that's a life skill, you can understand more. It doesn't help you in the strife of the dealer saying, well, you're going to owe me money in 12 hours.
Well,
but it does.
We
right?
have a lot of the same problems.
Yeah, it's actually
and
a lot more.
We're a big part of the auto finance world. And until recently, our voices haven't really been heard.
Well, and I feel that way about the transport verticals. That's why it's great to talk about, and it's great to hear that. Good job, Jordan, creating that technology, right? Being a part of that to create technology that's going to help, because it seems like the more problems we get thrown at us, there's a certain level of technology that can help us.
Well, technology is great, but I think and you said this to me when we had our pre-call. You said I sound like a cheerleader, but I said I'm not, because I can name 150 other agency owners that I'm personal friends with that would say the exact same thing. So this tool changed the way that we run our business and present our businesses and work together with other businesses. And so I just don't see why, and this is perfect to have that opportunity to work together to make a solution for both of our problems so that we can service our clients better, right? And we all have less of a headache and we can make some more money.
Well, and the timing is right, because we know that also in auto transport, it would seem that auto transport and auto recovery have a lot more in common than we realize, because it wasn't until about 5 years ago that mobile apps began to change the landscape of the paper-based BOL, which now for many companies is just unacceptable. If you're going to bring me paper, it'll be the last time you do.
Well, and it's always wrong, and there's something missing, and then we got to go back and do it. I mean, having it digitally available is not only keeping up with the times. I mean, let's look at what we're going through right now. We're in a global pandemic. I mean, if we can make things contact-free, hassle-free, why wouldn't we do that?
Yeah.
We noticed that transporters and repossessors, if you really look at like the core, I've got to learn a lot about transport now. ClearPlan merged with Car Global in November of 2018, and really hearing transporters' struggles, they're very similar to agents. Lots of dry runs at recovery companies. There is no, UPS sticker that recovery agents leave on a customer's door when they've had to go there 3 times. Hey, please bring your car to this lot. We gave our 3 runs and that's all we're going to give, right? So the same struggles, thin margins, increasing fuel costs, increasing equipment costs, emission diesels that are breaking down after 100,000 miles. It really seems like, after getting to talk with a lot of transporters, that there is a lot of parallel between the repossession companies' struggle and transportation companies' struggle. So that's really why we're trying to incorporate that technology to not only accommodate our customers, but transporters as well. They're 2 very, very hard industries.
Yeah, well, and when I think of difficult technology to develop, I've said that I think if you had a 9-car hauler and you're trying to develop a technology that'll tell every time you get a load where it should be put on the truck, the order in which you pick up and deliver, a constantly changing software formula, it sounds almost as hard as ultimately getting that repo schedule, what can happen in redemptions with the driver's changing schedule to the point where the app says you're never going to make it on time, so don't try to go to the repo yard on this one.
Even something as simple as that, Jay, right? Like to be able to qualify a VIN on clear data, transporters can do that. So yeah, you might be picking up a 2006 F-250. Little do you know that 2006 F-250 has a 14-inch lift and 44-inch super swampers on it, right? So now you're sending a 10-car hauler, again, 45 miles out of area to be greeted with that, and it doesn't run. And the transmission's locked up, right? So we give that visual representation to the transport companies when they're booking that assignment, so they know that they're going to send the right equipment. Again, it's just something that we want to do. That technology, just a simple picture speaks 10,000 words, right? Of what to send and who to send. So if it's something that we can do to help transportation companies as well as our agents, that's a big win for us.
Well, I think it's funny they say that because It seems like technology would limit our relationships, but it's actually made it so much easier because the information is always there. They can go to our websites. They can upload their own bill of lading. They can upload their, certificate of insurance, holding us as additionally insured, so that there is no question, right? Because our clients require that from us, anybody who comes onto our lot. And it makes our relationship actually more seamless and respectful. And, a long time ago, before ClearData existed, I'll be honest with you, I mean, out of my employees' mouths 2 or 3 times a day was some darn transporter. They were fighting with them about this or that. And now that's a non-issue. We don't have an issue. It's like Jimmy from wherever is coming, and we, help stage their cars. We work together. They get in and out. And it's just, it functions on a very great level, like perfectly. It's one of the things that stress me out the least at our company now.
Right.
That's fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what is that, and we're going to keep this going, but we're about to invite Carissa. She is our final panelist for the evening. And then we're probably going to be here another half hour. So I'll tell you what, here's what I want to do. Everybody stay put. Now, you guys won't see this video, but everybody else will see this. This is Ty. They know Ty. They know about autotransportintel.com, and they know how to sign up as an insider. And Carissa, we're gonna be right back with you.
Hey, it's Ty, transport guy, hanging out in the transport parking lot always. If you want to learn to grow your business, I think you should probably go to ATI Insider, sign up for free. Don't give anybody any money. And with that, you get, I think you get a 20-minute phone call, which usually turns into a little longer than that. You get to join the roundtable, which is once a month. And at the roundtable, what we do is we get pretty detailed about how to build your business, how to connect with dealers, how to connect with auctions, how to build a lane. If you're new, if you saw a YouTube video and says, I can make $1 million in a week and I want to get into car hauling, Ty, and maybe you own a Stinger, maybe you own a little rollback. Man, how do I figure this out? Should I buy this? Should I buy that? What do I need? How do I do it? You get to make relationships with other carriers. It's kind of not a one-size-fits-all. It's here a little bit about you. Go to the ATI Insider, get signed up. I can help you. I really can.
No, he really can. He can actually really help you. And also, and in the live chat, hey, I just want to say this. You guys are okay. You're okay. In the live chat, I just want to say, Paul for ringing the bell. Thank you so much. Andrew Serica for ringing the bell. Thank you so much. Ingenuity is the engine of growth. Simplify and execute. I couldn't agree more. Now you can hear the live panel. So let's do this. Let me welcome Carissa Robb of Constant.ai. Carissa, please say hello to the Auto Transport Intel live audience and tell us a little bit more about you.
Hello. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm coming up on 11 o'clock in New England, so you're getting the end of day, Carissa, so you'll have to bear with me a little bit. So I can give you a little bit of background. I work for Constant. We are a software platform, and we're trying to show up in the front end of this whole process. So we are bringing automation into an area that's a major gap for the lenders and the servicers. So what we do is introduce this self-service feature where customers who are experiencing a hardship can come in and apply for assistance in a very automated, logic-based way. So you'll see this is just kind of a picture of our some screenshots of our tool that we offer. And the goal here is to really provide more off-ramps between the borrowers that are experiencing hardships and the lenders that are trying to mitigate some of their losses. So not everything has to go to repo, right? And the way that the lenders respond today has really been somewhere between these short-term extensions. Paul and his team were mentioning this in the beginning of just kind of kicking the can on repossession and trying to buy time. So you've got these 1 or 2 month extension band-aids, and then you've got repo. And there's not a lot in the middle other than spinning a dialer and trying to recover what you can for payments. So we're trying to step into that role are successfully stepping into that role and giving a little bit more insight for the consumer. So education, understanding what options may be available when there's some compression of income or extended hardships, the micro hardship, right? Not just impacted by COVID, but I lost my job, or I've had to relocate, things that can really help us be prescriptive in saying, this is someone that we can restructure with, an adjustment for the payment schedule. This is someone that we're looking at an inevitable loss. Let's see if we can increase that cooperation and perhaps, get a voluntary surrender, allow for a short payoff, list the car on your own, and see if you can generate some revenue that's close to value just from liquidating that vehicle. I'd always draw parallels to the Great Recession. I was a collector, managed loss mitigation, ran U.S. loan servicing for a top 10 bank. We went through this exact same thing on the mortgage side. Before the crisis, we didn't restructure mortgages. Very few and far between on short sales. Deeds in lieu of foreclosure weren't really a thing. And now they're commonplace off-ramps that can really help to kind of manage the economic downturn and get borrowers back to recovery. So a lot of this is an education piece when you look at auto loan obligations, when you look at that industry and saying, hey, there's better ways to do this that can help kind of make sure that the right cars are going to repo, and that those borrowers that have an ability and willingness to repay are coming out.
Can I ask a question real quick before you go any further? Just because I want to clarify, are you like a forwarder? Or are you like a mediator for like a forwarder or lender where you're going to push a continuation of a defaulted loan? I'm just trying to clarify.
So we show up as a software as a service. So banks, servicers.
I understand it's a service, but I'm just trying to understand who you're providing the service to, the consumer or the lender? Okay.
On behalf of the lender?
Yeah. So banks and servicers would be our clients. And so they would offer the solution through the online banking channels. And then their customers are the ones that benefit by being able to come in and do this self-service. So if you think about the phone channel and the operational burdens of like calling to get an extension or calling to, a collections call, this is bringing down that operational burden and increasing the self-service features to those customers that kind of need assistance the most.
So I got to see the app. Paul and we got a pretty thorough demo, and it's amazing how, like you said, Carissa, it can be white labeled for your organization, Bank of America or whoever, right? Yep. And that the consumer, right, me, you, whoever, goes to the app and puts in data about our hardship or whatever, and I think our accounts are kind of tied into it, and the app helps guide us through rather than spending the time with a person on the phone. It's a really smart technology that helps get to a possible solution that, maybe will work for us and the bank.
Yes, exactly. So you're trying to increase that cooperation, get the collaboration of the borrower. If you can arrange for voluntary surrender, then you can get all those personal inventory items out. You can save some of those friction points, the cost of trying to find out where it is, the potential damage to the collateral because you've got someone frustrated that's just kind of giving up on the other end. So these are all just kind of ways to facilitate that collaboration and cooperation on the borrower side and really increase their understanding of what options are available to them without sitting on the phone for an hour and a half waiting for a collector to say, we're coming to get it anyway.
And I think one of the things that you also brought to our attention is there's the data side, which, as we all know, in any technology, we're not only facilitating the current transaction, but we're learning more about what to expect in the future from some of the common factor patterns, right?
Yeah. So there's obviously, this has been talked about quite a bit, the credit blind spots with new origination that's coming. So we're focused really, really heavily right now on the existing portfolios and the credit risk that's within that portfolio. So are we going to see roll rates and delinquency? Are we going to head to repossession? But there's this new credit that's being originated as well with somewhat inflated, potentially inflated credit scores. And so the FICO of that with stimulus income, supplementing income, and ability to pay, debt being extended and forbearance plans activated, FICOs aren't giving a true picture of creditworthiness. And so you're going to have this kind of problem running its course over the next couple of years, and the need to kind of right size how you manage that distressed debt, and increasing your strategy so that it doesn't become just here's a 1 or 2 month extension and kick the can on losses. And then we're looking at repo and clogged pipelines and potential for loss projections to be worse on the lender side. And the data, like one of the great things about the tool is we partner so we can get really accurate assessments, integrated assessments of what the value is and what the loss projection is from repo and what that looks like as opposed to a restructure. So we're bringing to the table a little bit more data and analytics on the borrower behavior and ability to repay, coupled with vendors that can help with the liquidation side and the collateral repossession, so that the lenders are really getting a full view of how they can protect their balance sheet.
Right, and I put it in the live chat. I mean, because really, and I love the questions. 17 Cross says, "Is this is this good news or what is this?" And I mentioned don't be the buggy whip manufacturer, but the point is that I'm positive that the more information we have, even if we don't necessarily like it at this moment, we're better off to have information about how things are changing, because maybe there's an avenue where we actually can benefit from that change. Maybe. Not all the time, but sometimes. So, and it's really impressive, Carissa. And you are you the founder of this idea? You're part of the development. What's your background on this?
Yeah, so we started as a fintech lending company in 2018. I'm the president of the company and the chief operating officer, and we pivoted to go full force. We got out of lending, went full force into loss mitigation solutions. Again, that was largely driven. I was senior vice president for U.S. loan servicing for a top 10 bank. So all of those manual pain points we went through the Great Recession, we used that to build the Constant platform.
I predict it's going to be very well received in the coming months. And the combination with what you're offering and what I hear from you guys, Bryanna and Jordan, what you're bringing to the table, lenders are just going to be very happy. Because that's the complaint that Alex and I hear when we talk to these on the other side of the fence. They're complaining to us, especially when Alex is doing reports for them. Help me understand how I can stave off this incredible monsoon of repossession loss.
Sure, and I think that a lot of clients and the lien holders want to keep their customers in the car they want to collect, right?
Absolutely.
So, and I think the big picture is that when a portfolio doesn't suffer major amounts of loss, you can lend another day, right? When you're not taking a lot of loss, there's more money to lend. So I think in the full encompassing picture, it shouldn't affect the recovery industry that much, and it's doing something right by the consumer.
Mm-hmm.
The banks who do that will have a consumer for life.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's, not everybody can be saved, not everybody can be modified, and that's certainly not our message at all. It's just take the customers out that can, with small concessions, be able to take a step forward. The regulations are going to change, and I think that banks will have some pressure to show that kind of cooperation as they did in mortgage. But for those that aren't going to be modified, can we take some of the customer pain points, sometimes caused by the customer being frustrated, take those out by increasing the cooperation to just surrender it, preserve the value, simplify the process, and then go forward with repo and transfer.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree. They don't want a depreciating asset sitting on the street.
Mm-hmm. With no tires or radio.
And parts get picked off day by day.
Right, and we see the videos where someone's trying to drive their truck. It's already on the forks, or I got the language wrong here, but you're not going to get away with that car, and you're just destroying it. And what happens there? What actually happens after the video? Now that they've destroyed their vehicle,
That's a debatable point. I can let Bree chime in with her own opinion, but I mean our company, it's a breach of peace, really. So the second that it starts to get to that level, I mean, typically, all of our agents run Samsara cameras in the truck, or some sort of dash cam. But I mean, the second the repossession starts getting volatile, we have very strict instructions to drop the unit and leave. So we don't want any confrontations with the customers. We don't want any issues with the client, the lien holder. But yeah, breach of peace is really what stops any repossession cold in its tracks. So
it's just not worth it.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
It really isn't. And we are trying to change the reputation of our industry currently and present ourselves as professionals and not these TV shows and this stigma that we've suffered. And so for us, one repo isn't worth the circus. We'd rather just drop it and say, have a nice night and see you later. And most of us in this industry that are left at this point are the same way. We really want to do the job, but we want to do it right. And we understand that these consumers are under, duress and stress and some of the hardest times of their lives. And we're not there to make their day worse. We are there to do a really, like Jordan said, thankless and unfortunate job. Somebody has to do it.
Yeah. Wish I could sell puppies and make the same money.
Man.
A much happier day.
I don't know. I saw a goat yoga lady on finding my house whatever. So, and her budget was like $1.2 million. And I was like, what am I doing wrong?
Hey,
But
I like
we
laser
love
label.
it at the end of the day. And, we'd love to work together with your industry, I think, to make it more seamless for both of us, because at the end of the day, I think we can all say that you or I, depending on our corresponding jobs, are probably not taken as seriously in the auto finance world as some of our other colleagues that are at other companies and fields.
Well, and if one could see any common ground in all of the stages, it's the technology. I don't know at what point, right? At what point does Constant connect to ClearPlan? I don't know if there is a point, and it's not today or tonight, but that's the thing, is that one of the things I say in auto transport is this, and I said this to you guys, is that I don't understand how so many auto transport jobs begin when the driver gets to the car. That car has existed for years. There's probably been multiple CRs. Where are they? Why aren't they somehow in the life cycle of the car? And so, right, because you've got information. I don't know how many times I've gotten a dispatch as a dispatcher, sent a carrier to a repo lot, and we have almost nothing.
Well,
That's got to make you guys crazy, right?
Well, we don't have that problem anymore with ClearData, because ClearData and RDN are our main book of record, pretty much. I mean, I would say, what, Jordan? I mean, maybe I'm even not even being accurate, but I would say at least 80-90% of the agencies in this industry that are functioning to some kind of volume are using ClearPlan and ClearData.
Yes.
So, it's not like an uncommon thing, and it's really streamlined all of our processes. It's and we have other technology companies that have really hung on and have had like one or two clients, and we have to kind of use them too. But most of our work, I mean, we have 2 repo companies in Houston, and 85% of our work is in RDN and ClearPlan and ClearData.
Yeah, it's that streamline of technology, trying to unify even just the condition reports. Every client has their own CR. So, we're working as feverishly as possible on this side to make not only the agents' lives easier, but stuff like the CR and stuff. That's going to affect the transport industry as well.
And it's patched forever, that CR, yeah. Even if we repo it again, even if it's a different debtor, it's this, we can see the CR from before. We can see the pictures. We can see the difference from that car. If it was 6 months or 6 years, we have that book of record that stays in one place, that integrates with each other, that makes our job 10 times easier. Not to mention just phone calls from appointments and, transporters that are lost. I mean, they know the system. They get a text message with confirmations. They know if they don't show up with on time, that we're going to find them. They get a text message. Everything is seamless. their dispatchers know, the transporter companies know, and we've developed a thing of trust and a good relationship because of it, because it keeps us organized, it keeps everyone accountable, and it keeps everyone on schedule.
And I like how when you were talking about the map, would you say the map is the money?
Yeah, so that's the other side of ClearData, and that's more for the repo side. And I'm sure there's some way that these brilliant minds could figure out how to work it for the, transport industry. But all of our accounts populate onto a map, so we can decipher them by different icons. We can navigate directly to them. We can see like a sample picture of the type of unit for like the year, model, make that we're looking for, their plate, the address, apartment numbers, the updates we've done before. I mean, it just takes all of the information we have and makes it really simple for all of our agents. Also helps them with distracted driving, right? So they don't have 10 different apps going at once. I mean, it has so many benefits that honestly, any repo agent, I don't know any repo agents that aren't using it. And we network. I mean, we all go to the same events. We see each other all the time. And I don't know any agents that aren't using these tools because they're so valuable and they're a game changer.
Well, and we have technologies too, and like Mark, he's in the live chat, Superflow Systems. What we need to do is we need to start integrating. That may already be happening, which I hope to learn more about in a few months, Jordan.
Yeah.
We'll see. If we're lucky, right? We'll roll the dice. We'll hope
that's one of the key things that Carissa's platform does on the front end is the open integration that she has with all these partners that brings in the ability to leverage your technology, Mark's technology, car haulers, data providers to help the valuations. By becoming that hub, because she's got first engagement with the consumer and the lender. And the lender's whole goal, as you said, right? Is
that's a really good point.
Yeah, is that loss, reducing the loss. Yeah. Anything she can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no reason that it has to stop at the credit decision of, yes, you're approved for a voluntary surrender, or yes, you're approved for a short payoff or a trade or whatever. It's just the bank tends to think in silos, and you have people focused on origination, you have people focused on servicing, you have people focused on repo, and then it dies. And they don't really understand what happens after that. So part of the relationships that we form with this Constant platform is to say, hey, we think we have a way to do it better. Banks are good at what banks are good at. They're not great at technology. And so it's just introducing these new relationships of how we can really go end to end, leverage some of the reporting and the processes that are already happening today through integrations.
I think that's the goal of any technology company, is to centralize everything into one easy to use platform, right? And if you can simply create an API or a connection with another technology that people are using in the space, that only benefits everybody listening and on this call, right? Mm-hmm. So that's always been our big push, and that was part of our tech founders. That was part of their brilliance, is in believing that everything really should be connected. It makes the end user's life a lot easier, and that's, I think, what we're all trying to service is the end user, whether it's the agent, the transporter. In Carissa's case, it's going to be the consumer. So to have that easy to use tech that's servicing everyone at once, not a bad day. We're making our customers' lives better.
Mm-hmm.
That's right, because there's still a human being in this transaction.
There is, there are several human beings, and it can be, I think, for everyone involved, you got to keep a positive attitude, because sometimes it's a hard thing to deal with, no matter what, whether you're the customer, the agent, or the transporter that just made the third dry run at that repo company because they couldn't get a hold of somebody on the phone, right?
I liked your UPS sticker. Because you get that on the door, and you're like, well, at least I know he was here.
Yeah. I have to go.
Transporters don't have those.
Yeah, the agents don't either. I mean, if there was a...
Yeah, we're not allowed to leave those either.
Right.
Yeah, my house budget would have been like that TV show.
And it's interesting what you said about the TV show too. There was that trucking, what was that U-Ship show, and where that's how a lot of people actually. Confession, when I first got into dispatching, I said, what's it like? He said, go watch that TV show.
Okay, well, our careers are nothing like the TV show.
Yeah, I'll make that note.
Good. That's
Zero,
good.
zero Operation Repo is happening here. Yeah.
We don't do
Repo.
any of that, okay?
Yeah.
None of it. None.
Oh man. Yeah. Right. Well, just like car hauling's not like that train video. That's not car hauling.
Yeah.
That's probably good. Yeah.
That was a bad day.
That is
I
a
know,
bad
that was
day.
crazy.
That'll be a
That
fun
was.
insurance claim. My goodness.
Oh my gosh. So that's not even a flip of the week. But guys, right. Thank you guys so much. And really, Carissa, you get the Stamina Award. I know it gets late on the East Coast. Thank you so much.
No worries at all.
It was, and I really, everybody, all of the pieces that were connected tonight, this is awesome. I'm so pleased with the way this all came together, and thank you so much for the information. I want to thank you all.
You're welcome. I enjoyed it.
For having us.
Pleasure to see everyone.
Yeah, thank you guys for having us
you.
and inviting us to, your industry's platform. We appreciate the open dialogue and the chance to connect. It's very important.
We
Let's
really
keep
do.
it going, you guys. Let's keep it going.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Anytime.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. I'll let you go. I'll just end it in one fell swoop. Here's the end, and click. Oh, click. Okay. I had to double click. Okay, those guys, that was awesome. Really something else on episode 167, Black Book Recovery Update. Mic check, check. I think the audio's still okay. Shipping Wars. Thank you, Andrew. Shipping Wars. Literally, they said, you want to learn about this job? Watch Shipping Wars. And I remember watching Shipping Wars, and then when I started doing it, I'm like, okay, well, it's not really like Shipping Wars much at all. But, why not? So I want to thank Black Book. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Alex, for your presentation, information, data, and input. I want to thank Jordan and Bryanna, auto recovery professionals, for adding insight into where auto transport meets auto recovery. And Carissa, Robb from Constant.ai. Do check it out. Amazing information, and it's neat to see the pieces in the chain. And I know, right, that's the thing. For everything that happens that might be humanitarian, it might affect our job in some way, but we need to know these things now rather than being blindsided. I'm positive of that. We need to know what's happening and what's changing. I want to thank you, Murphy Auto Transport, Dispatch Services, Brokering, for being my co-host on Thursdays. Thank you, Mark Grodicke, Superflow Systems, contributions in the live chat, end-to-end software solutions. He's here right now if you've got a software question. We're going to be here for another few minutes. And I want to thank Jack Cooper. Go to jackcooper.com/careers. If you're a driver, car hauler, and you want to work for a company, Jack Cooper is hiring. If you are a mechanic, if you are looking at being a yard supervisor, they got terminals in the U.S. and Canada, I believe. I don't know all of their locations, but go to jackcooper.com/careers to learn more about it. And I want to thank you guys. Thank you so much for staying with me, man. I know it's a 2-hour show. It's crazy, but there is so much to cover. And I try to make a theme. I think the theme came together. It was a lot of work, and your participation makes it so. So thank you for participating in the live chat, and I really appreciate it. For those of you that were able to join us last night on Cars on the Move, thank you so much. The next one is Monday, I believe Monday, January 4th, 7 p.m. If you want to find out more how to join that, go to autotransportintel.com. You can click on the sign up button. Where's that information there? It's right there. So please feel free to do that. And it is officially the end of the show, so thank you so much for joining me tonight. Just to make sure I don't have any missing information. I think we're good, and I think that everything came together. We made it. So next week is Expecting Unicorn Transport. Expecting Unicorn Transport, episode 168, is going to be very carrier related, but also broker. We're going to have carrier, broker, asset-light carrier, some technology, but you will definitely be closer to the beaten path than some of these side hallways that I take us down. So thank you so much for being a part of that. Hopefully, I hope that every time you tune off, you tune in and then you walk away from the show, that you're thinking about something you learned. That's how it is with me. Whenever I talk to Paul, I start thinking about stuff we talked about. So Paul, thanks so much again for helping make this show happen. And Paul will be back on this show in January. So that's right around the corner. Thank you guys so much. I guess it's time to run that car hauler. I don't think I'm missing anything else. I've always got to check and make sure. Missing info. I don't think I'm missing anything. I think we're good. Oh, and we didn't put, I don't know if we have contact information. I'll tell you what. Here, let me do this. Just in case, for any information that did not get translated for Black Book, go to blackbook.com. And Kimberly, if you want to put a couple of these links in the live chat while I do this. For the Black Book information, go to blackbook.com. Jordan is with Recovery Database, RDN, and Kimberly will put the link to that in the live chat if you want to contact Jordan. Bryanna is with AssetResolutions.net. There's also a phone number, AssetResolutions.net. And then Carissa is with Constant.ai. If you want to learn more about, hey, maybe you're in trouble, maybe you know some. Oh, she already did. It's right there. Hey, Jay, you're telling us something that Kimberly already put in the live chat. Well, anyways, there is the, it's too bad I can't read. There is the webpage for Constant. Go to Constant.ai. So thank you so much, Kimberly, for doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or was that 3? What is this, Downton Abbey? Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Show wouldn't be the same without you. I'd be just sitting here talking to myself, and that is no fun at all. So thank you so much for taking the time. Let me know if I can help. Send me an email, autotransportintel@gmail.com. Please do tell your friends about Auto Transport Intel, all the great content putting out live 4 times a week. And let's do this thing. Let's grow our businesses and connect, integrate, and stay safe. Please do stay safe. Keep me posted. Let me know how I can help, and I will see you soon. Peace out, and here comes the car hauler.